Hey everyone, Mama Shark here. Have you ever passed a nursing mom and just thought, wow, that looks so intrinsic, so glorious, so amazing? I'm pretty sure that's easy because once I have my baby, I'll just put him on and they'll go to town and everything will be golden. Well, unfortunately guys, it's not that intrinsic. It's not that glorious. It's actually one of the most challenging things I've done in my life. So please stay tuned and I'll tell you more. Unfortunately, both my babies didn't latch, so I have a lot to tell you. Okay guys, so both my babies did not latch for two different reasons. One of them because I messed up. I was a first-time mom, and I will tell you more. And then the second one was because it was really out of my control. If you have a choice to decide whether you can exclusively pump or not, I will make a separate video on that to tell you, the advantages and disadvantages. So I was finally able to get my second baby to latch, which was pretty awesome. Make a separate video on that. First and foremost, guys, as a first-time mom, I did not realize how important it is to put your baby on the breast as soon as they're born. I think that would have upped my chances of having my first baby latch. The problem was that I was too involved in what I just went through, and believe me, for some people it's a traumatic experience. For me it was not a fun experience at all. And I was just too involved in my own pain and what I just went through. Breastfeeding is really important for me, and I wanted it to happen so badly. So I put the baby on the breast within a few hours of birth, and he just did not want to suckle, unfortunately. And I remember I kept trying, and towards the end of the night, he was born closer to 7 p.m. And then towards the end of the night, they were asking me, has your baby fed yet? And I was like, no. And they're like, well, you really, really, really need him to eat. And I'm like, okay, let's try again. And so I kept trying. And then two nurses came in the room and they were just shoving his face in the breast. And I'm like, what are you doing? And I was really irritated at that point. And it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. And unfortunately, my baby didn't want to suckle. So within the first 4 hours, I would say, the hospital started pushing the bottle. And that was the biggest mistake ever. Because as soon as my first baby got the bottle, he never again wanted to try. And believe me, I tried and tried and tried. And I exclusively pumped for him for 6 months. And the whole time I was trying to get him to latch. He eventually latched, but only at nighttime. And I think it has to do with him being asleep and just not as aware as he is during the daytime. But he eventually did latch during the nighttime. Don't even get me started on the hospital system, but the medical system, everybody, doctors, nurses, hospitals, they all care about what their liability is with a certain action that they're doing, and how can they get the most money out of you. And while that seems a little bit bitter, that is the truth. And so they were trying to make sure that they don't have a baby that is failure to thrive on their hands. So they were pushing and pushing and pushing the bottle on my baby. And as a first-time mom, I didn't know any better. I was like, okay, sure, yeah, I don't want my baby to starve. There should be a balance there because there are instances where babies need to be fed immediately. I'm pretty sure everybody's different, medical history, all of that. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lactation consultant, but I want you guys to be aware. That's it. That's my whole point of this video, is you guys are aware and making good decisions, good informed decisions. So yes, if you can, and if you really want it to work, keep trying. Try to get your baby to latch first. And if you ultimately had to go with a bottle, make sure you're doing pace feeding. And I could post another video on that, how to pace feed your baby. Basically, it ensures that the flow is not too fast so that your baby is more willing to interchange between the nipple, between the breast and the bottle. With my second baby, what ended up happening is he had a tongue tie. So it is really important that even if you have a baby that immediately latches on the breast, to check if your baby has a tongue tie or a lip tie or both, because I was so excited. I was so happy. You cannot imagine how happy I was that my second baby latched immediately after birth. And I did not realize he had a really bad tongue tie, which means his tongue was tied to the bottom of his mouth. And so he didn't have he wasn't able to take the nipple all in and have a good latch on the breast. So what ended up happening is I had really bad lacerations on both my nipples, and they were so bad I literally was missing skin. But it was a really, 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 really bad, painful latch, and I did not know any better. And again, this was me as a second-time mom. So you would think, point number 3, lactation consultants. You would think that the lactation consultant that I saw would have picked up on it immediately. No, she didn't. But I will say, another mistake I made is I didn't see a lactation consultant immediately at the hospital. I had one that was making rounds, and she just came in and just looked down. She's like, "Oh, you're good," and walked out. So I would say, I would really urge you to make sure you're seeing a lactation consultant immediately. Make sure that they're good. Do some research. And usually the lactation consultants in the hospital are the only choice you have, but they have a few. So do some research. Make sure that they know what they're doing. Even with my second baby, having a lactation consultant come in and look down and tell me, "Oh, okay, he's good. He has a good latch." He didn't have a good latch, guys. Within a month, I could not put a shirt on. I was in so much pain. Every feeding, I dreaded every feeding so badly. I did not want to go forward with breastfeeding. I eventually had to exclusively pump because I was so injured. And of course, once the baby gets a taste of the bottle and a quicker flow of milk, good luck getting them to latch again. Which, by the way, I've successfully gotten my second baby to latch after 6 months. Yay. And I will show you guys how I did it later. So that's number 3, lactation consultant. Number 4, and the last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is I do realize, and this is a very heated conversation, fed is best. I agree, fed is best. So there are instances where women cannot either move forward with breastfeeding, for example, because they're so injured, or they just can't, and it's a really, really difficult thing to do. But if you can control it, and if you really, really want your breastfeeding relationship to work, maintain some breastfeeding. Don't completely cut it out and just, hope that your baby will latch later after he or she has been off the breast for months, because all it takes is just a few days on the bottle and for them to not want the breast anymore. So make sure you still keep a few breastfeeding sessions, even if it's just one, until, for example, you fully heal if you have tender nipples, or if you had to go away for work or anything like that. Just make sure that you're trying to keep as many breastfeeding sessions as you can, and that will ensure that you can have a latching baby later down the line. If you have any questions or concerns or any other topic you want me to discuss, please leave a comment. and I will make sure to get back to you. Thank you so much for watching.